Well, tonight, teens and kids receiving transgender treatments in Arkansas will be allowed to continue that treatment. It comes after a ruling by a federal judge today. And Jay Burr with our Little Rock station KARK live with what happened in court today, Jay.
Oh, well, you nailed the head right on there. Basically, a federal judge ruling that the SAFE Act, the Save Adolescents from Experimentation Act here in Arkansas, put an injunction on that. That bill was actually set to go into effect next week. This now puts everything on pause. He also dismissed a motion by the state to dismiss this whole lawsuit. So this thing will continue to go on. Even in some of his comments, Judge James Moody here in Little Rock did say he did expect an appeal no matter how he actually ruled on this. It looks like this is going to work its way up to the 8th Circuit now.
All right, so the judge even saying he's expecting an appeal here. So what were the arguments on both sides of this?
Well, the ACLU arguing that this law held transgender treatments to a much higher standard than any other type of treatment out there. Some of them even said hysterectomies were held to a lower standard, even if it were in some of the youth, but it did depend on it. The state arguing that it was the outcomes of any of these treatments that they were going for, not necessarily the procedure itself. Also, the ACLU countering with that's obvious discrimination. They also did have a caveat in their lawsuit that it did say that it violated doctors' First Amendment rights to be able to have their free speech, because in this law it said that doctors could not recommend patients for any types of treatments for this, and that would also be going out of state as well.
And Jay, this is a topic people tend to have pretty strong feelings about on both sides. So what are some reactions you've seen so far from people there in Arkansas?
Well, obviously, anybody who was in favor of today's ruling, very joyous. There was a packed lawn out here in front of the federal courthouse here in Little Rock. Many people just relieved that they can continue their treatments. In fact, there were several youth out here today that even spoke on the matter, saying that they enjoy the treatments, that they can live their full selves. And even parents out here were saying, this is something that the state needs to basically butt out of, because it's really none of their business, as long as it's nothing illegal, which many of these drugs not deemed illegal. Now, there has been the debate of what is the use of it being off-label, which was also part of some of the arguments here today. But anybody who was against the ruling today, basically saying that the fight's not over, that's going to work its way up. I did speak briefly with the author of this bill today. She said she was obviously disappointed in today's ruling, but the fight is far from over. And like I said earlier, already making its way up to the 8th Circuit. Nicole, back to you.